What? Hey, hey.
Hey everyone, happy Friday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What are we having?
Gin and sodas. Oh, delicious gin and sodas.
Yeah, gin and elderflower.
Oh, amazing. That's delicious.
And lime. Hey, so what a week.
Yeah,
What
it has
a
been an
week.
incredible week.
We've made it through the whole week.
Yeah.
Well, the Monday to Friday week. Not launch week. Launch week's only like
halfway through, I
halfway
think.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of team. Had so many firsts this week.
Yeah. But we had an incredible webinar last night, which was amazing.
Yeah, masterclass with the lovely Miranda Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some amazing couples join us and ask some really good questions and chat some good stuff.
Yeah. Just trying to understand more about their relationship communication and deep dive into their relationships a bit more and understand how we can help them kind of keep that spark alive.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk about tonight?
So tonight we're chatting about staying on the same page because I think it's something that, well, obviously our lives change constantly and we're consistently growing and things like that. And what we really want to be doing is making sure that we're growing together as opposed to growing apart, and that we're consistently on the same page and heading in the same direction.
Yeah, I really like this. Hey Josh.
Hey
Josh, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
When it comes to like staying on the same page, I really like to think of the analogy of like if two pilots got into a plane without talking about where they were going, what kind of destination they wanted to arrive at, how much fuel they've got in the tank, how long they were happy to like be in the plane for, like what is the likelihood?
What's the destination they're actually trying to get to? Yeah.
What's the likelihood that either of those pilots are going to end up
when they wanted
to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, throughout a flight plan, the pilot, co-pilot check in with each other constantly about if they're en route, has anything changed? Has situations or turbulence or anything changed that we need to...
Has the environment changed that they need to consider in their decision making? So
I think, over our 14 plus years together, we've developed like a few like
tools and tips
to help keep us on the same page. And I think the biggest one is our annual planning, annual game plan days that we do towards the end of November. So each year we take 1, sometimes 2 days to plan the year ahead, the 365 days ahead, and we try and align it with the season. So that's why we do it at the end of November. Historically, we've both taken some leave in December, so it's just never been a great time for us to do planning. Like the year's really kind of done for us like towards the end of November, and then we kind of have a bit of a mishmash kind of month in December, tying off loose ends and things, and then really historically we've taken a solid break. So doing that annual game plan and the agenda has evolved.
Oh, massively. Yeah, it has definitely evolved. So I think it used to be just kind of a look of the year ahead, but as we've kind of grown out the grand plan for our life and the grand vision for our life, we actually really take it or use it as an opportunity to be able to check in with that grand vision, make sure that a lot of that grand vision does still align with what we're actually looking at and where we're wanting to be going in the greater scheme of our life, and then trying to pull those plans back to like, what do we like? It's normally a 10-year vision essentially, and so what do we then want to pull back into a 3-year vision, and therefore what does our 1-year plan, I guess, look like to be able to start achieving some of those 3-year and 10-year goals.
Yeah, and as an example, like from our annual game plan in November 2020, we came up with 21 goals for 2021. Some of those were shared, some of those were individual, but that's kind of where we set the priorities for the year. What are the things that we're saying yes to? What are the things that we're saying no to? Because it can be really easy to be swayed by like, I think like an example would be like, if someone comes to you with like, oh, do you want to go on this epic holiday? A group of us are going away for a milestone birthday. Like, do you want to come? And I think like being the impulsive people that we are, that's happened a few times where we've had to say no because we've already planned our trips for the year. We've already planned our budget and our finance and what are the priorities. And sometimes I feel like if we didn't have the big picture, it'd be so easy to be like everywhere and say yes to all the things, and maybe have conflicting ideas about what we should be saying yes or no to. So I think like having that annual game plan about what are the big priorities for the year, and then breaking that down into what we call our seasonal sessions. So once a quarter, so kind of at the end or at the start of the change of season, we get together and just check in and like, how are we going with our goals for the year? What are the priorities for this quarter? Has anything like drastically changed? What do you think works about that?
Well, I think the quarterly, like the breakdown into the quarterlies is really about trying to make sure that we get some progress on our goals and that we can see the progress that we're making. Because I think like a year can be a very long time to be trying to work on something or to be trying to achieve something. And it's very easy to get 2/3 of the way through the year or 3/4 of the way through the year and go, oh shit, we haven't actually even made a dent in actually trying to achieve some of these goals. So I think what it is really for us is like that quarterly check-in and even planning out some of those activities and some of those goals into down to the quarter really helps us to kind of stay on track and not to like try and cram everything into the last quarter or miss everything.
Which I think you're about to do, right? Like for what you set as the priorities for this quarter.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that going to happen.
I like my things for this quarter. I had them done in like the first 2 weeks.
You smashed
I was
them
like,
out.
I know that we're going to be launching Couple and Team later in this quarter, so I'm not going to have time for those other things. So it definitely is a good opportunity to like check back in and figure out. But in saying that, from that seasonal thing, we do check in with each other like once a month, and those are much more on like the goals that are like, I guess, more milestone based. So things like this year, I set myself a goal that I wanted to read 24 books. So 2 a month, which is like 1 a fortnight. Oh, thanks, Josh. Annual game plan template. If anyone wants it, I'll drop it in the comments. We make it available totally free. It walks through the agenda. There's like some little videos and then some instructionals and some templates and all the bits and pieces that you need to run your own annual game plan day. You don't need to go as deep as us if you don't want to. You can do it in 1 day rather than 2, or you can, omit
tailor
bits. Yeah, it's definitely yours to make your own. But we've got all of that available for you free. But then at a monthly level, we check in like on those kind of goals of like, how are you tracking? Like, are you about to have to binge? Like one of Nate's, I'm going to throw him under the bus.
Throw me under the bus.
Yeah, it was that he set himself an 8,000 step average for the like daily step average for the year. And it was like May. And I was like, how's that step challenge going? Because I had a suspicion that it was not good.
No, it wasn't great.
And I feel like I've been asking you every month, like, is this still a priority? Are you still going to shoot for it? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I was trying to blame it on environmental factors, and I think that was kind of well, like you were talking about before with the aeroplane analogy of like, we need to check in with our environment. And so I think I was putting a lot of blame on, I'm not doing my normal commute to work, and so I'm not getting my normal steps in. Whereas if I was doing that, I would be, yeah.
But that's the nature of the beast. We have to adapt.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't adapted.
on that one goal.
For this year.
So then at a like same page romantic kind of level, we have our 2x2x2 date nights, which I'm sure if you've listened to the podcast before, you would have heard us talk about. But the idea is that we take each other for a date every 2 weeks. So the way that we kind of work that is that Nath owns the first half of the month and I own the second half of the month. So we get the opportunity to play host once a month and we get to be guest once a month. So that's the first two. And then the second two is that every other month we try and have a weekend away or a night away. And in the past, we've been able to do this really successfully by like bolting it on to traveling for work or for traveling for a wedding or an event or sometimes just very consciously taking a long weekend. We have struggled with this one big time
definitely.
This year.
Yeah. This year has been a struggle for that. But
and then the last two, so the third two is that we got this from a Reddit thread, a random Reddit thread that we've adapted and made our own, which we encourage you to do with all our stuff, like take it and make it your own. But yeah, they were suggesting to go on a trip every 2 years, and we do 2 trips a year. This year and last year we have not done that very well.
We planned to, but it definitely didn't eventuate.
Yeah, we haven't adapted to our environment.
No, not at all.
But yeah, that's kind of how we stay on the same page in a romantic sense. And then I'll let you take this one.
Yeah. So then I guess down to a weekly level. So what we normally do is like a happy hour check-in. So on a Sunday, just kind of sit down together, work out what are our priorities for the week. We do normally like a 2-week look ahead almost. Like what's the real focus for this week, and then what's the focus for the following week as well. So it's much more granular level. We do have a full, I guess, rundown or an agenda for that.
It sounds so uptight. It's so not uptight, but the framework helps.
It does, yeah. So there is a good little framework there anyway for what we chat about on every week. But it's normally over a glass of wine and dinner or something that we'll have a quick little catch up, just to make sure that we're on the same page for the week, that we know who's taking lead on whatever's going on, if there's vet appointments or if there's whatever else happening. Just to make sure that we're aligned and that we know what each of our priorities are for the week.
Yeah, it's much more at a granular level, like what food are we eating and how's our money at, and like are we enjoying the sex that we're having? And if not, why not? And then things like how connected are you feeling to me right now? And is there anything you'd like me to apologize for? And having those kind of like weekly regular check-ins, like it helps avoid anything like blowing out of proportion and anything becoming something bigger than it like otherwise might become, because you kind of get the opportunity to like
nip it in the bud first, in the bud early rather than letting it sit there
out
and
of
fester.
the balloon before it pops. So that's kind of like how we stay on the same page at a weekly level. And then down to like the full granular of the daily, we have a gratitude practice. So we go through flux of like being really conscious about writing this. Like we've got a book in our bed that we keep in our bedroom, bedside table and then other times it's just a conversation like while we're brushing our teeth or getting ready for bed. Like, what are you really grateful for today? What are the things that and why? And that it's amazing how we've been doing that for years now.
We have. I think it just helps to keep us a bit connected, because quite often, reasonably often, our gratitudes will be for each other or something that each of us has done for each other during that day. But I think it also just brings some gratitude and some thankfulness into our daily lives, which can be difficult to find sometimes.
And I think it does help us keep like on the same page and connected, because with that gratitude practice, we know if someone's had a really shitty day because they struggle to find those things that they feel really grateful for. And I know that that's definitely been me the last few weeks, like really struggling to be like, what am I grateful for? And how many times can I be grateful for like working from home and
the local park.
The local park. Yes. Whereas other times when you've, had a really great day or really great
lots of wins,
good headspace, like the gratitude can flow really easily. So I do think even just that daily little practice helps us stay on the same page with where each other are at.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've been hosting lives all this week talking about all sorts of different things, like about how Nathan, the tools and things that Nathan and I have found in our relationship that have helped us stay as connected as we are. But then we've also been talking about the course that we've launched, so Couple and Team. So it's designed for couples who want to invest in their relationship. First and foremost, this is not about fixing anything that's broken, because you're not broken. No one's ever broken. We just want to help you go from good to great, or from the place that you're at to an even better place. So Couple and Team is an online course. It's designed to help you have some conversations that maybe you didn't know that you needed to have. And it includes a whole heap of frameworks like the 6 that we've sort of talked about tonight that we use to keep each other on the same page. So Couple and Team is totally self-paced. You can do it at whatever leisure you kind of decide. You could smash through it one a week, or you could take 12 months to complete it. But each of the modules have a handful of bite-sized video lessons, and each lesson then has an activity or an opportunity to dig into a conversation around that topic. So it really is about that couple side of things, that warm, squishy, romantic side of stuff, but then also the teamwork that you need to have to be able to have a healthy, happy, thriving relationship and running a household and a life together. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you're watching on Team Replay, drop it in the comments too, #Team Replay, and we'll definitely answer any of the questions that you've got. But the doors are open for a couple more days.
Through till Tuesday. So go check it out. So fuelcollective.com.au/courses. All the information is there, and if you've got any questions, you can definitely hit us up, Sammy at fuelcollective.com.au or Nathan at fuelcollective.com.au.
Awesome. Thanks, team. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.